There's also...
Sam Pang to...
Oi! Don't. There's also a video on Discord, but let's go. Send the video. We'll have a look at what it is afterwards. Anyway, let's watch this.
When one can only be overwhelmed by the onslaught of current events that shake humanity to our very core,
Yes.
stripping us of
Very
nothing but our
important
most
events.
base animalistic selves like a feral skin primate shaking in a puddle of our own humility. So today I'd like to talk about Hooters. Article 12, Section 6 of the Constitution says that it is a God-given right for Americans
True,
to
brother.
have access to sports bars where the servers have chest bags humongous enough to save us during a car crash. Yet we are at risk of losing that right after it was reported this month that Hooters of America is preparing to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Fortunately, the restaurant is preparing for their bankruptcy.
I already talked about why look, we all know why it's happening, right? Like, Look, if you're the kind of person who wants to work at Hooters, there are much better ways that you can make money on the internet. Look, it's as simple as that, right?
Bankruptcy filing with the law firm Ropes and Gray, who I assume got their name from every softcore porn novel in the back of a CVS. So in this moment of panic, I thought I would brush off my online
If you don't know, like, how absolutely cooked, like, romance novels are, like, if you think anime is cooked, I recommend going and reading, like, some of the Monster Fucker books. Like, you don't know how bad some of these novels are, like, how absolutely just beyond cooked they are. It's something. It's something else.
marketing bachelor's degree.
The what? You heard me. You heard me. I said monster fucker.
My suggestions for how we can save titty Applebee's. First off, Hooters is in severe debt with about $300 million in asset-backed bonds to repay.
How do you get to 300 million before you do something about the problem? Mint once told Matara about the Minotaur milking novel she was reading. Exactly.
This requires intense capital inflow from their existing franchises that they quite frankly haven't seen in their entire history as a company. My solution to fix this? Bigger boobs. The only economic model that Hooters can rely on is the cup to buck earnings phenomenon. So if we find a way to up the cup, then we find a way to up the bucks. I'm not exactly sure how we do that, but that's for science to decide. Next up,
Again, you gotta pay them more. They gotta be on like $50 an hour. This is the thing. Like, why? What? You know what? I actually don't know how much. Like, what do you actually get paid as a server at Hooters? Hooters USA hourly rate. Okay, so let me get this straight. Line cook, restaurant manager, kitchen team member. So, I don't know if this is converting it into a manager gets paid $20 an hour. Oh, God. I'm also seeing other ones saying, like, $8.50 an hour. Yeah, so it's, like, maybe a little bit higher than normal rates. Again, if you're the kind of person willing to work at Hooters, why would you want to make $8 an hour or $7.25 an hour or whatever? Like, if in like some of the tip positions, even less. Fun fact: the federal minimum wage in the US is $7.50. I thought it was $7.25. I thought, is it not $7.25? Did it go up, or are you just saying the wrong number? I don't know.
Replace the mascot with something that represents Hooters clientele.
Oh,
more.
no.
Instead of this bookish, curious owl, let's get Uncle Luke in there. He and none of his friends are doing anything. Now that the owl's gone, the name Hooters doesn't really make much sense now, does it? Fortunately, there are dozens of breast-related names that we could pick in that slot in just as well, such as Awooga, Bazoingers, or the much more on-the-nose mammary glands. At this point, I'm assuming your business will be flush with cash immediately. But I was hired to establish a long-lasting business plan.
$3.15 if you make tips. That's fucking insane. That's such a wild system that if you can make tips, you just get paid less. Like, that's not a thing here at all. Like, tipping isn't really a thing in Australia anyway, but in places where you can take tips, like, you don't get paid less, you just make tips. Except no one gives you tips because it's Australia.
And unlike the parents of many of your servers, I will not abandon this. So here's where we start expanding, but not into restaurants. Instead, we will take our excess cash and start buying other places of business where slowly dying patrons will also appreciate a huge pair of knockers. Hospitals. By rolling up underfunded mid-size hospitals in the Rust Belt
I think he's cooking here. Hold up. Hold up.
area and laying off staff without sufficient breast size, Hooters will see both increased efficiency and foot traffic into the now sexy emergency rooms of Hooters hospitals. Not to mention, by owning both C-rated sports bars and hospitals, we have now created a full-circle ecosystem where customers will be sent back and forth from one property to the other, quite literally for the rest of their lives.
If you want an actual thing to do, get into sports gambling. Sports gambling is where the money's at.
Hooters no longer a business, but an entire reality of their own. So if this sounds appealing, it's your move, Hooters. Me and Uncle Luke are on the line.
What a video. You know what? Since we're here anyway, let's just go watch the other Hooters video. Where is it? Where is it? I had it here somewhere. Where is the Hooters video? I love this video, that's why I shared it. That was a good video. I'm happy you shared it. Where the fuck is it? Wait, it's gotta be around. I scrolled past that. Why can't I find it now? I literally had it right here. Okay, if I search Hooters, is that gonna show up? Okay, here we go. Thank you. Oh, it was way further. No wonder I couldn't find it. It was way further up the list. In Quebec, regular minimum wage is $15.75 an hour, but with tips, $12.60. Again, I don't understand how you can be paid less with tips.
Hooters. This once thriving franchise is heading to the direction of filing for bankruptcy. Hooters in its prime was the go-to destination for single men or recently divorced.
Why does he have a pickle in his mouth? Why? This being covered in badges like this, like you go to an anime convention, you see the same thing, but it's all just like waifu stickers. This is basically IRL waifu stickers.
Husbands. That was a joke. But for real, Hooters used to be so popular that you could find it in pop culture movies like Blended and Big Daddy. I remember there being way more like Adam Sandler movies, but I guess not. But regardless, the impact that franchise had was extremely
Why not have a pickle in your mouth? Solid argument.
But sometimes not so positive. Being in a ton of controversy throughout the 40 years that the company has been around.
Oh, I can only imagine there's been a lot of we'll just say harassment. I can only imagine there's been a lot of harassment amongst Hooters staff and the managers.
Let's start from the very beginning and the birth of Hooters.
Okay.
Hooters was created in 1983 by a group of businessmen who would later be called the Hooters Six. Obviously, because there are six of them.
I'm sorry, you know what? Of the people I could imagine starting Hooters, you know what? I can't think of any people that would make any more sense to start the company. Look at these fucking mustaches. That is like peak 80s mustache.
These guys really didn't have a clue what they were doing when they started. They were just friends with similar backgrounds in business, and they wanted to open up a restaurant. The first Hooters restaurant was opened in Clearwater, Florida, on the premise of the restaurant focused.
Florida. Why wouldn't it be Florida?
On customers' dining experience, and of course, sports. And also, the biggest thing Hooters would be known for, which was the Hooter Girls. The Hooter Six focused on hiring young, attractive servers to help gain customers. These servers would wear the iconic white tank top with the Hooters branding, along with short shorts. This strategy of having a target demographic...
Wait. Hold up. Was this one of the owners? Hold up, is that what... Wait. Hold up, we need to go back. Is that the guy? Is that like one of those guys? Or is he just like another dude? I have no idea. I don't know, is this some other random old white dude? Or as we call it in Germany, porno bulk... I'm sorry, what? You call... Oh, that mustache is called porno bulk. Oh, that's incredible.
Of mostly men, helped Hooters become extremely popular in a very short amount of time. You see, no one was really doing this type of marketing at the time, and the Hooters Six actually pioneered the breast-strong...
You know what? At this point, I'm not even gonna question it. You know what? Why is there a fish? Doesn't matter.
...concept, which I feel like was only used by them, but I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments down below. Now, because this marketing put them on the map and the logo and name were quirky and easy to remember, Hooters started to expand. But this expansion only happened after the Hooters 6 sold the rights to Hooters of America, a year after they opened the doors to the very first Hooters in Florida. Now, because Hooters was known for their Hooter Girls service,
they sold it a year after it opened. These guys had no fucking idea what they were... He said they didn't know what they were doing. You know what? I agree. They had no fucking idea what they were doing.
Issues started to...
because it's the porn mustache.
...rise for the company in the 1990s, when in 1997, a group of men would actually sue Hooters for not hiring them as servers due to their gender. Of course,
the US is such... People in the US love to sue each other. They really do. Like... It's like, oh, you hit my car. I'm gonna sue you. You don't want to hire me at Hooters. I'm gonna sue you. Jesus fucking Christ.
Hooters would settle this case for $3.75 million, but on the agreement that they'd open more opportunities for male employment. But not as servers. Hooters instead focused on bartending and hosts for men, while keeping the servers strictly to women. This lawsuit didn't seem to hurt them that much, and in fact, I think it actually helped them get even more popular. By the mid-2000s, Hooters bloomed as a franchise, having opened over 400 restaurants. But this wouldn't stop them from getting into controversy, as more doors opened.
Well, do you know the other thing that really helped Hooters? You didn't have instant access to the internet when it opened. Like, if you want a goon, you don't have to go outside anymore. You don't, if you want to goon to like something that looks like a real person, you can just watch a video. You don't have to like go to a store and buy a VHS tape. You just fucking go to Google. If you can goon at home, why goon outside?
So did more opportunities for the company's ethics to be called into play. In 2010, a Hooters employee based in Michigan filed a discrimination lawsuit against Hooters after allegedly being placed under weight probation. She alleged that her manager told her that she had 30 days to slim down and fit the mold of a Hooter girl.
She's not even, she's not even like fat. Like, this is just like a normal girl. Like, completely normal.
Even though this lady was already around 130 pounds, but they allowed...
Are they looking for like 90-pound cat girls? Like, what do you mean?
Allegedly gave her an ultimatum: lose weight or get terminated from her job. In court, a Hooters representative would state that the weight requirement wasn't specific, but that the company did want to keep the image consistent with its brand all across the board. So pretty much, they didn't tell her how much weight she needed to lose. but they did want her to lose weight to look like the other Hooter girls.
I'm so
The case
insanely
was
late.
ultimately
Well, now
settled
we're watching a
privately
video about Hooters. So welcome.
outside of
How you
court.
doing,
Well, this
Ahmed?
brought more eyes onto the company for all of the wrong reasons. But again, this would only further the popularity because getting more eyes on yourself, regardless if it's positive or negative. With the restaurant motto, it only brings
Did you just
more
say restaurant? Hold on, we need to hear that again.
if it's positive or negative. With the restaurant,
He did say restaurant, didn't he? I'm not imagining that.
more eyes on yourself, regardless if it's positive or negative. With the restaurant,
Yes, he did. I don't know if it's intentional. Kuma's killed Hooters. True.
You either die a hero or alive long enough to see yourself become the villain. Baka.
Good.
motto, it only brings more men into the door. In 2009, Hooters would once again be sued for gender discrimination. Remember when I stated that Hooters tried to create more opportunities for male workers, but kept it strictly to bartending and being a host? Well, this
Sure.
would constantly come back to haunt them because this was just one of a bunch of lawsuits against the company for not allowing these men to be hired as servers. Almost
Again, the US loves to sue people. They just for everything, right? Like imagine you're hiring for, I don't know. Here's a good example. Let's say you run a female-only gym, which are fairly common things. You probably want only females working there, right? Like that just makes sense. It's Hooters. Like, what do you think's gonna happen? So when do they give up and hire femboy? Now, this is the correct model to go with. Femboy Hooters, that's the future.
every one of these cases were settled outside of court. Well, when you strictly make only women as servers, you are bound to get sued a bunch of times along the way. A huge issue that Hooters faced, especially at the very beginning of 2017, aka the year of the Me Too movement, was failing to change with the times. You see, people change in the same generation that loves
Goth femboy Hooters. Goth femboy Hooters. How many employees are you gonna have? Like 2?
seeing these Hooter girls in their iconic dress code aren't the same as the new generation who are all about women empowerment and women equality in the workplace. Now, obviously, when you base your whole business structure off of girls wearing this type of clothing, then you are bound to be called out for it. And that's exactly what happened to Hooters. But this wasn't anything new for Hooters, to be called out for over-sexualizing and objectifying women. This has been called...
That's literally their business model. that is the model of Hooters.
into play throughout the whole time that they've been around. But the Me Too movement started to put way more heat on the stove and started to cook the owl.
And by 2018, who's actually going, like, at that point, right, like, who's actually going to Hooters, right? Like, by that point, again, if you want to goon, you can goon.
So what did Hooters do? Well, in response,
literally nothing.
in 2018, they tried to change their image and opened a spin-off restaurant called Hoots, which was more family-friendly and more of your cookie-cutter restaurant. It also allowed male servers to work along with female servers, which was a shocker. But it was a step in the right direction to bring Hooters into the modern times.
Wait, so if you're doing that, you're actually, if you make a side store, you're literally going there solely for the purpose of the food. I have never been to a Hooters before. Do they have good food? Because I assume they don't. I assume it's kind of like a maid cafe in Japan, right? Like, you don't go to a maid cafe in Japan because you're there for, you know, the good food. You go to a maid cafe for the maids. Americanized maid cafe. That's actually what it is, though. It's actually decent. You can do better, but it's not actually bad. What about pricing? Like, obviously decent food, but is it, like, decent for the price or just decent, like, yeah. Family-friendly Hooters is surreal. It's certainly an idea. It's not the idea I would have had.
eventually did, while keeping its target demographics separate by keeping Hooters...
I think the solution they should have gone with is just gone the complete opposite direction. just like turn Hooters into a topless bar. Just go all the way.
as its staple restaurant and Hoots just as a spinoff. But by this time, business already started to slow down for Hooters. There were so many other restaurants which offered the same menu items and sports on TV that weren't engulfed in backlash because of the harassment towards its servers. And these other restaurants were actually family friendly, unlike Hooters, which was
I didn't know maid cafes exist. Wait, you didn't? Wait. You did not know maid cafes existed. Okay, sure.
niche brand at this point. And even if they did try to switch to a more family-friendly approach, Hooters is
Again, who's going to family-friendly Hooters?
synonymous with objectifying women. And once you get a label like that, it's extremely hard to change that reputation. Hooters was constantly being called out for living in the 1980s and not changing to societal norms. But they just didn't listen to the criticism and actually doubled down on this. In 2021, Hooters actually changed their dress code again, but this time it had tighter tank tops and shorter short shorts. Servers went on TikTok to voice their concerns and frustrations, and some of them even quit their jobs because
Yeah, why? If you don't... Okay, this is what I don't understand, right? Like, if you don't like... Like, if you're working at Hooters, right? Like, let's just be honest. If you're working at Hooters, you're there to be stared at. Like, that's your job. Now, you shouldn't get paid $7.25 an hour, but, like, that's literally your job. If you don't like it, I don't even know... I don't even know why you would work there. Because I'm sure if there is a Hooters near you, there's a bunch of other restaurants that'll pay you just as much, which is basically fucking nothing. And people go there. And you don't have to wear really skimpy clothes.
of the dress code change. Because it was even more about objectifying women than it ever was.
Okay. Look, again, at this point, why are we even wearing clothes? Those are not even shorts at that point.
Because of the backlash, Hooters said that it wasn't mandatory to wear the new dress code, but you still couldn't get any more tone deaf than that decision. It was pretty much self-destruction at this point, because they were constantly being called out for objectifying women. But then they make it even worse with even worse dress code, which is again just putting more eyes on the brand.
Look, how far off of a G-string are we here? We're not that far.
Which I feel like maybe they thought that this was a good idea, because if they were able to change the dress code, and maybe if it wasn't even a permanent thing, but if it got people talking on TikTok, then maybe they felt like it would be like history before it, where the more drama and controversy that they were in would bring more people into the door. But I feel like this didn't pan out the way that they thought it would. And with the new dress code policy, they'd also be called out for discrimination against black people because of the different types of hairstyles that they weren't allowed to wear while they were working, which targeted mostly people of color.
So I'm at work right now. Obviously, I'm allowed to work at my normal store because this is not a rule that literally any other Hooters in my region follows. We're allowed to have box braids. We're allowed to have highlight. I posted on my Instagram.
Wait, when to send home? Hooters girl will not take out her hoop earrings. Hooters girl will not scrunch her socks. If Hooters girl will not take out her nose hoop. Okay, these are actually like reasonable safety requirements. I don't know if this is a thing in the US, right? But in Australia, you actually can be forced to take out big earrings and like big nose rings, because like that can actually be a safety hazard in a work environment. I don't know if that's a thing in the US. I assume it's not if people are taking issue with it, but like that would be totally normal in Australia. This is stupid. Yeah. It's reasons like this I find the West utterly bizarre.
Story last night, the Hooters policy. As you can see, there are rules as to when you can send a Hooters girl home, but under state and work, it says Hooters girl has hair that is in style, that is not within style standards and needs time to fix. Hooters girl will be given 2 weeks to change their hairstyle. So
yeah, that's stupid. As long as your hair is not... Okay, if she was working in the kitchen and she had hair like this, like that's a problem, because hair could fall into the food, obviously. If you're a server, yeah, again, we have safety standards that like are normal. So, I don't know how the US operates, but you actually can be sent home in a lot of restaurants for like at least not covering your hair. Usually you can put like a hairnet on or like a hat, depending on the specific kind of hair and specific context. But yeah.
Regardless, if my hair was out of Hooters girl image, I should have been allowed to work and I should have never been sent home. As you can see, this is the...
What bizarre... Hold on, I actually want to read this. She's going to focus on the parts that focus on her. I want to see the rest of this. No shaving of the head or any portion of the head or eyebrows is approved. A minimum of 1/8 inch in length. Wait, they have restrictions on how okay, sure. No bizarre or juvenile hairstyles, mohawks, shaved heads, pigtails, or spikes will be... Well, hold up. No bizarre or juvenile hairstyles, but not limited to... Okay, sorry, I read that wrong. Okay, so they are saying mohawks aren't allowed. Okay, that makes sense. A hair color must be limited to shades of brown, black, blonde, or auburn. What is auburn? Auburn color. Oh, ginger. I see. Okay. Who defines what juvenile is? Your manager. That's who defines it. Shades of pink, blue, green, orange, yellow, crimson, purple, unnatural reds, or blending all of those. Okay, sure. This is normal. A lot of places here. At least when I was working in like restaurants, I don't anymore because I don't hate myself. That was pretty normal. Yeah, I think it's changed now. Yeah.
2022 updated hair policy. Nowhere does it say that I am out of Hooters girl image or that my hair is not Hooters girl's image. It just took this one manager, this one GM of one store to send me home and deny me work. She's the only person, the only manager. Like I said, I've worked here 3
Hooters, Brodie.
years. I have talked to everybody about this,
Yes,
and she is the only one that says that I cannot work. But because she's the GM of her store, there's no...
Do you know what the solution for Hooters is? How would we name it? Because what I'm thinking, right, is Hooters, but all of the servers are men. Like they're all like men who are really jacked. What would we call it? And like they wear like super tight shorts that like show off their cock. So it's like it's Hooters for women and gay men. What would we call it? Shooters? No, we can't call it shooters. No, we can't. No, we can't call it that one. Fuck. What would you call it? the village people. Male strip club. Yeah, but it's for people that are not comfortable going to a male strip club. Gooners, bear hooters, bear hooters. Maybe. Like I don't just want to call it boners, right? Because that's too on the nose. The Brodie Show. I don't know. If you come with a name for it, let me know, because that would actually... I think that's what I need to go into it. Coomers. You know? Wait, yeah, if they used the name Coomers, but before Coomers was like a popular internet term, I think that would work.
Nothing I can do. This is the approved list. As you can see, colors must be limited to shades of black, brown, blonde, or auburn. And then this one, more of the approved hair colors and hairstyles. And I mean, that is literally like my highlights. Like I'm baffled.
Hooters' biggest mistake was not having a Twitch channel where the girls would regularly stream in rotation under the hot tubs category.
You're actually not wrong. You're actually not wrong, though.
The unapproved styles. And this is what he meant by like stark contrast, like it's just not blended together.
Sure.
And then this one, it just like the ombre just
I don't know why that's not approved. Like, this is a totally normal hairstyle.
isn't
Or hair
blended
coloring.
well enough, but as you can see, it's not an issue here. Everyone wants to know the store that this happened at, and I'm not going to say the store that
Yeah, that's a good way to get fired immediately if you do that.
I work at for my own safety, but the store that this all happened in was the downtown Dallas Hooters, the
Or
world's
just
biggest
say
Hooters.
it. Okay.
It's like Hooters West End of Dallas, and I know that might like risk my job, but at the end of the day, what happened was not
Average
acceptable.
wage cage.
As you can see, it's against the rules, and she was so big about following the rules, and if she can
I
break
feel
that
like
rule-
this is a situation where the manager didn't actually have any issue with her hair, but the manager had like other issues with this employee and decided to make the hair an issue. It's like maybe she didn't show up to work on time, maybe she was on her phone a lot. Ballers. Okay, yes, actually that's a good one. And you can also like have sports, you know, you can do like sports betting there as well. Perfect. Actually perfect name for it. But yeah, I feel like it's a situation where the manager just had general issues with her and decided to make the hair an issue.
This is not okay, nor will I be quiet about it.
Muscle tone and carries herself upright. None of these hairstyles are allowed.
Wow.
That Hooters dress code policy looks really discriminatory because half of the forbidden hairstyles are ethnic hairstyles. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're written up for wearing your hair like that and you're a member of a protected class, you definitely need to talk to a local employment attorney. That is so bad. Who okayed that?
By 2024,
Not
Hooters
legal
lost a ton
advice,
of
so you
its
don't get
popularity,
sued.
and they had to start closing doors on some of their underperforming restaurants. Hooters went from over 430 restaurants to around 300 restaurants in 2023.
That's still pretty good, to be honest.
And now it seems like they are headed to Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, for all my younger viewers or viewers that just don't know about bankruptcy, Chapter 11 bankruptcy pretty much is like hitting the pause button on a company's financial problems so that they could try to fix things instead of shutting down completely. So yes, Hooters isn't shutting down altogether, and this gives them time to try and come up with new ideas to bring some much needed life back into the restaurant. But if this downward spiral continues, or if this restructuring doesn't pan out the way it should, or if Hooters doesn't change with the times, then I do feel like the company could start to close even more restaurants. Now,
I don't think changing with the times is going to save them. I think they need to go, like, absolutely all in and, like, try to engage, like, try to bring the Gooners in. Like, make it peak Gooner store. Like, that's, I don't think becoming a more tame restaurant is the direction they need to go. Like, that's not going to save them. That's going to make them lose more money. They need to basically turn Hooters into a strip club. That's what they need to do.
I'm not a businessman, nor do I claim to be, and nor do I have the certifications to be giving my advice for how to change or fix the image. But I will anyways. I think if you want to restructure, you have to rebrand at this point. Take the Espinoff restaurant and make it your full identity moving forward. Leave the Hooters girls in the 1980s and 1990s and live in the 2020s, where objectifying women is wrong and where over-sexualizing women is wrong. I'd also say that they need to come up with a new concept to stand out. There are far too many chicken spots in America right now, from Buffalo Wild Wings to Wingstop. There is just so many.
I think they need to go all the like complete other direction. Chicken wings and strippers. That's chicken wings and strippers. That is a concept. That might get you some money.
Places out there that can offer a better experience with better food. But I think rebranding is the best way to.
I know a place full of dudes in tight clothes flexing their body in peanuts and trying to assist women. It's called the gym. Actually true, though. Holy shit, there are so many fucking dudes who, like, I'll be doing my sets, right? And they're just, like, in the mirrors, being like, Like, they've lifted, like, fucking one... They've done, like, one set in the past 30 minutes, and they're just, like, flexing. Like, just constantly in the fucking...
Go, because you will never shake that reputation of objectifying women and all of the harassment lawsuits unless you ditch the name. When I think of Hooters, that's all I think about is the synonymous dress code that is linked to the name. And even if you have never been there before, that's their reputation. And I think they have to change that reputation. And the only way that they can change that reputation is by changing the name. Nobody's going to go to a restaurant that's now like, oh yeah, you know that restaurant Hooters? Yeah, I guess it's family friendly now. Because people are just going to be like, oh yeah, family friendly. The last time I saw it is that they were making the women wear tighter...
Again, the family friendly model for Hooters is not... Like, it didn't work for them before. It's not going to work for them
tank
now.
Tops and short shorts. But that's what they're going to have to face, is either change the name or be stuck in the same situation that they've been in. Hooters has always thrived off of controversy. There were some real life rage baiters and honestly, in a way, clickbaiters. Until the world started to change and go against everything that Hooters was about. I've said it plenty of times before on the channel, but this is what happens when you don't build your foundation on a solid base, and eventually over time, it'll start to give out. And that's exactly what's
I mean, there's plenty of chicks and cocks at the gym. This is true.
happening now. And who knows, maybe the Hooters 6 realized this and got out before it was too late. Because I do feel like the concept was started just as a funny joke. Oh yeah, let's get men in the door.
I actually could imagine that. That would not surprise me.
Or by having women wear over-sexualized, like an over-sexualized dress code. But I don't think that was a staple idea moving forward. I think it was just to get more eyes on the business. I'm not really even sure.
Have you seen Big Box's video? On what? What's the video? Is that another Arch video? What do we got here? Oh my god, we have Luke. Stages of using Linux. Okay, we'll watch this one next.
How to change the restaurant into being something that isn't overdone or something new in America. And maybe that's the reason why they just kept the Hooters the way that
I wonder what these comments are going to be like.
But I do feel like the first step in the right direction is changing the dress code to an actual dress code where everybody can be inclusive and have way more people in the door, and also cater more towards like a women base, because if you do that, then you can also bring the men in. Because
no, the only way you cater to... No, you know what? They should... You know what? If we're going to cater to women, no, we don't do that. You just make the men also dress really skimpy. Again, what was it? Bowlers. Bowlers is the solution. Bowlers is what we do. Get the cocks out.
Because a man will go wherever his wife is. So, yeah, do that. But anyways, have you ever eaten at a Hooters? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there, please leave a like and subscribe to join the best community on YouTube. I am trying this style of content out, probably just for one video, but if you like it and you want me to make more videos like this one, let me know down in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I entirely disagree with this final take, but good video. Go give the channel a sub. Yeah. What are the comments saying? Suing Hooters because you're a guy and can't get a job is like suing a strip club. You couldn't be a stripper there. True. Very true. I don't have a problem with the Hooters and how many people are judgmental of the male version. Exactly. That's what we do. I only know Hooters because it's the NASCAR sponsor. Oh. Pippa short? What Pippa short? What are you talking about? On the sidebar? Oh, that. Disabled cats. Wait. Twin Peaks don't have this issue. Is that another store like Hooters?